My girlfriend refused to spend Christmas with me because of her ex. I found out on December 18th, exactly 1 week before Christmas. Sitting in our apartment with 2 plane tickets to Vermont on the coffee table between us. I can't go, Sarah said, not meeting my eyes. My family really needs me this year. We'd been planning this trip for 3 months. Vermont, Christmas at my parents' cabin. The whole thing. My mom had already bought extra groceries. My sister was driving up from Boston specifically to meet Sarah for the first time. Everything was arranged. What do you mean you can't go? I kept my voice level, though something cold was already settling in my chest. We bought the tickets in September. She twisted her hands together, a tell I'd learned to recognize over our 2 years together. It's complicated. My mom's been really emotional lately, and with everything going on with my dad's health, your dad's fine. You told me last week he's doing better than he has in months. He is, but she stopped. Started again. Look, it's just a bad time for me to leave them. Can't you understand that? I could have understood that. I would have understood that. But there was something in the way she said it, the way she still wasn't looking at me, that made me ask the question I already knew I didn't want answered. Does this have anything to do with Derek? Her face went pale. There it was. Derek. The ex-boyfriend. The one she dated for 4 years before me. The one whose parents lived next door to her parents. The one who, according to Sarah, she was completely over and barely even friends with anymore. He's going to be at his parents' house for Christmas, she said quietly. His mom mentioned it to my mom. That's all? That's all? I stood up, needing to move, needing to do something with the anger that was suddenly coursing through me. So you're canceling our plans, disappointing my entire family because your ex-boyfriend is going to be next door. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Sarah? Explain it to me. She finally looked up and I could see tears forming. His mom asked my mom if our families could do Christmas Eve dinner together. Like we used to. It's tradition, and his mom's been sick, and she really wants everyone together one more time. She has a cold, Sarah. You told me she has a cold. I know, but what? But Derek wants you there? But you want to see him? My voice was rising now, and I hated it, hated how I sounded, but I couldn't stop. Be honest with me. Just be honest. Fine. She stood up too, defensive now. Yes, he asked his mom to invite us. Yes, I think part of him wants to see me. And yes, maybe part of me is curious about how he's doing. Is that what you want to hear? It wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't. But at least it was the truth. So you're choosing him, I said flatly. I'm not choosing him. I'm choosing my family. It's one Christmas. James, one Christmas where I spend it with my parents instead of yours. Why are you making this such a big deal? Because it is a big deal. Because you're breaking plans we made months ago. Plans that involve my family. Because your ex-boyfriend is going to be at a dinner party. I grabbed my jacket from the back of the chair. I'm going out. James, don't, but I was already closing the door. I walked for an hour in the December cold, trying to organize my thoughts into something that made sense. The streets were full of Christmas lights and last-minute shoppers. Everyone cheerful and rushed, and I felt completely separate from all of it. When I got back to the apartment, Sarah was curled up on the couch, her laptop open. She closed it quickly when I came in. Were you talking to him? I asked that to who? Don't do that. Don't play dumb. Were you talking to Derek? She hesitated just long enough for me to know the answer. He messaged me on Facebook. He wanted to, I don't care what he wanted. I sat down in the chair across from her, suddenly exhausted. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to Vermont for Christmas. You can come with me like we planned, or you can stay here and go to that dinner. Your choice? That's not fair. You're making me choose between you and my family? No, I'm making you choose between the plans we made together and a dinner party orchestrated by your ex-boyfriend. There's a difference. We argued for another hour. She cried. I stayed cold. Eventually, she went to bed, and I stayed up booking a hotel room in Burlington for Christmas night, because I knew, somehow, that I'd be spending it alone. The next morning, she was up before me, already dressed. I'm going to my parents today, she announced. I need some space to think. Fine, she left. I spent the day cleaning the apartment aggressively, reorganizing the kitchen, anything to keep moving. She didn't call. On December 23rd, she came back to pack. I watched from the doorway as she filled a suitcase with clothes. So you're really doing this? I said, I have to. My family needs me. Your family or Derek? She zipped the suitcase shut with more force than necessary. You know what? I'm tired of defending myself. I'm tired of you acting like I'm doing something terrible by spending Christmas with my own parents. You are doing something terrible. You're breaking a promise. You're prioritizing your ex over me. You're showing me exactly where I stand. That's not... She stopped, took a breath. After Christmas, we'll talk. We'll figure this out. Yeah, I said. We will. She left. I sat in the quiet apartment and felt something shift inside me. Something that had been holding on finally letting go. I went to Vermont alone. My parents were understanding. My sister less so. She chose her ex over Christmas with your family. Emma said over wine on Christmas Eve. James, that's insane. It's complicated. He's really not. Christmas morning, I woke up in my childhood bedroom and checked my phone. Nothing from Sarah. I called her. Merry Christmas, she answered, but her voice was strained. Merry Christmas. How's it going? It's fine. Good. We're about to open presents. And the dinner last night? Pause. It was nice. Derek was there. It was kind of awkward, actually. I looked out the window at the snow falling on the pine trees. Sarah, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Are you still in love with him? What? No. James, no, I'm with you. Are you though? Because from where I'm sitting, it doesn't feel like it. That's not fair. You're the one who gave me an ultimatum. I gave you a choice. There's a difference. And you chose? Another pause, longer this time. So what are you saying? I'm saying I don't think this is working anymore. I'm saying I'm tired of feeling like I'm competing with your past. I'm saying maybe we both deserve better than this. You're breaking up with me. On Christmas? No. You broke up with us when you decided he was more important than our plans. I'm just saying it out loud. She was crying now. Please don't do this. I love you. I made a mistake, okay? I should have come with you. I see that now. Do you? Or do you just wish you'd made a different choice because this one has consequences? That's cruel. Maybe it was. But I was tired of being understanding, tired of making excuses, tired of coming second to a relationship that ended before I even met her. We talked for another 20 minutes. She begged. I stayed firm. When I hung up, my mom knocked on the door. You okay, honey? Not really, but I will be. She came in and sat on the bed next to me. Your father and I almost broke up once, early on. He went on a trip with his college girlfriend, said it was just to get closure. I told him if he got on that plane, I wouldn't be here when he got back. What did he do? He canceled the trip. Not because I threatened him, but because he realized that if he needed closure from her, he wasn't really present with me. She patted my hand. Someone who loved you shouldn't make you feel like an option, James. You deserve to be someone's priority. I spent the rest of Christmas with my family, and it was good, better than I expected. We played board games and drank too much eggnog and watched old movies, and I felt lighter somehow, like I'd put down something heavy I'd been carrying for a long time. Sarah texted me 15 times on December 26th. I answered once. I need space. I'll call you when I'm ready. I wasn't ready for a week. When I finally called, she was frantic. James, please, can we just talk in person? I'll come to your apartment or you can come here, whatever you want. We met at a coffee shop halfway between our places. She looked terrible, like she hadn't been sleeping, and part of me wanted to take it all back to make it okay again. But I didn't. I'm sorry, she said immediately. I was wrong. I was selfish and stupid, and I hurt you. And I'm so sorry. Why did you do it? I asked. Really? I need to understand. She looked down at her coffee cup. Because Derek and I have history. Because part of me wanted to know if the feelings were still there. Because I was curious and stupid and I thought I could have both. And were the feelings still there? I don't know. Maybe a little. But nothing happened, I swear. We talked at the dinner and it was weird and uncomfortable. And I realized that what we had is gone. That door is closed, but you had to open it to find out. Yes, she was crying now. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I know now. I know that I want you, that I choose you, that I was an idiot to risk what we have. I watched her cry and felt surprisingly calm. The problem is, Sarah, I shouldn't have been a choice. I should have been your decision a long time ago. And the fact that you needed to see if maybe Derek was still an option, that tells me everything I need to know. So that's it. We're done. I think we have been for a while. We just didn't want to admit it. We talked for another hour, went around in circles, said all the things people say when something is ending, but nobody wants to be the one to end it. Eventually, we both ran out of words. I'll come get my stuff next week, she said. Oh, okay. She left, and I sat there with my cold coffee, watching the traffic outside, and felt something I hadn't expected. Relief. 3 months later, I heard through mutual friends that Sarah and Derek were back together. It stung less than I thought it would. By then, I'd moved to a new apartment, started seeing a therapist, taking up running. I was learning how to be myself again, without constantly wondering if I was enough. My sister called me when she heard. I'm sorry, James. That must be hard. It's not, actually. It's clarifying. How so? Because now I know I made the right choice. If she really wanted me, she wouldn't have gone back to him. And I don't want to be with someone who sees me as the backup plan. Fair enough. So, what now? Now I keep living my life. I keep meeting people. I keep believing that somewhere out there is someone who won't make me feel like I'm competing with their past. That's a good plan. It was a good plan. And slowly, day by day, it stopped feeling like a plan and started feeling like my life again. A life where I didn't have to wonder if I was someone's first choice, because I had finally learned to make myself one. Looking back, I don't regret how I handled it. I don't regret standing my ground or ending something that was already broken. What I learned from Sarah wasn't about relationships or trust or any of that. What I learned was simpler and harder, that sometimes loving someone isn't enough if they're not willing to choose you fully, completely, without hesitation. And that I deserve better than being someone maybe.